Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Gungurubhyo Namaha. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Sri Paramatmane Namaha. Om Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Atmane Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya. Om Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Revered Atman, revered Self. In our previous session, we were just talking about this bliss. And we said, we concluded, and this conclusion was accepted, I think, by all, that bliss alone exists. And also the opposite of that, the corollary of that, if when bliss alone exists, how can there be sorrow? That also I think we have accepted it. Now the point is, so far as till now, it is only a theoretical concept. Bliss is there, it is all right. Bliss alone exists. But how does it help us? Of what use it is for us if bliss exists? We don't experience that bliss. So, it is only a theoretical concept till now. But I think, being spiritual seekers, we should not be satisfied with that only. We would like to have that experience ourselves. We must also realize that bliss. And it should be a part and parcel of our life. That is of concern, and that is our objective. Everybody wants that. We should have that. And that is also the purpose of the spiritual retreat. And the teachings of all the scriptures and all the sages and saints is that we must also have that experience. We must be able to realize that. We must also be able to reach that state. So, this is what is there. Now, how can we have that bliss? How can we experience this? How can bliss be a part and parcel of my life? This is our now more important consideration, the greater question. Towards the end we said that, you see, this bliss that we think of, that is the highest form of happiness. And then we also said that this is the bliss of Brahman, or the Absolute. That is actually real bliss. Other than that, all the things, they have some glimpse or some experience of bliss at other levels, but it is incomplete. And finally the Upanishad says, that we also said that 100 times the bliss or happiness of Prajapati, the creator, or in the world which is of creator, 100 times that is this bliss which we are talking of. That is the bliss of Brahman, bliss of Absolute, bliss of the Self or Atma. That is our goal. That is what we have to reach. And the Upanishad also says, who can have that experience? Who can have that bliss? There he says, Yascha Srotriyo Abhrudino Akamahata. These are the three qualifications required for the purpose of having that bliss. He says that Yascha Srotriyo. That means one who is very conversant, well versed with all the scriptures, important scriptures, spiritual scriptures, which are relevant to us, which are very necessary for us. A person who is thorough with the scriptures, Srotriyo, that is called Srotriyo. And then abrujino, one who is free from all sins, all negative aspects of our life, all negative qualities, free from sin, abrujino. And akamahata, that means a person who is free from all desires. He has no desire. He is not shattered by any desire. He is not affected by any desire. Who is beyond these desires. He also will have this type of experience. That is what he says. Automatically, a sage or a spiritual seeker who is able to have these three disciplines, Srutriyo, Srutriyo, Abrujino, Akamahata. It is in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So there it says that this is a person. All before that also there are several levels of gradations of happiness. That happiness also there he says beyond a point, he says that the same, the seeker or the devotee or the sage who has these three qualities, he will also have that happiness. That means at all other levels also that type of experience, that type of bliss or happiness will come to him automatically, a person who has got these three qualities. So, if we want to have that happiness, if we want to experience that bliss, acquire that bliss, we must know that these are the essential requirements, these are the fundamental things for having that particular bliss. So these three actually are the guiding factors. They are the basic requirements. And on that basis, a person who has acquired this, we don't have to do anything else. Automatically that bliss will come. He says, Jascha Srotriyo Abrujino Akamahata. A person or anybody who has got all these things, three qualities, three qualifications, three these features or virtues that he has got, these three are required. We must. Otherwise, talking of all this bliss and etc., it will be only a dream. It is only our theoretical concept. It will not be a part of our life. This is what we must do. So, now you can understand what we will do if we want to have this bliss ourselves. And if we want to realize that bliss alone exists, it will come only if we have that particular three qualifications. So, this is how we have to know very clearly. This is what it is required. It is not just for attending the spiritual retreat and hearing something and then go forget about it. Then bliss also will forget us. Bliss also will remain where it is. It will not come to us. This is what it is, if you want to have that. In fact, this is the highest spiritual practice, highest sadhana that is required, these three things. And this is ultimate teaching, final teaching of the Upanishads, final teachings of all scriptures. All the sages and saints who had this bliss, had experienced that, they were also having these qualifications. Without that, a person will not be a sage at all. If a person has that, he automatically gets it. For that, any fourth thing is not required. He doesn't have to do anything. He will just live like that with these three qualifications. Srotriyo, Abrujino, Akamata. This is what is there. Now, this being so, what are we supposed to do to have this experience? This is then now we must go step by step what we will do. And we must understand that this, we said, that this real happiness which we think of, that is beyond the gunas or the qualities. We have said that beyond the three gunas. We have discussed about it. And it should be through our yogic sadhana. Whatever yoga practices we are doing. Yoga practices, it is not only just doing some physical exercises, doing yoga exercise, yogasanas and pranayama, etc. That is necessary as a background, as a foundation. But that is not final. Yoga, real yoga comes here like this, etc. So this is what we must understand. Then only we can have this. For that, we should carry on with all our yoga practices, etc. And we should also remember that this absolute happiness that we are talking of, It cannot be, you see, had in the relative world. Our world is relative. We are talking of absolute happiness now. Bliss is absolute happiness. For that, you see, that is not anywhere in this world. This we must remember. We cannot look for a happiness or bliss in the world. Upanishad also says that, you see, this is the, and a lot of other things. So that means, you see, you cannot try to find this happiness in this world, because it is just not there. That bliss is not there in the world. As we said, in the world we have only the sense pleasure. Pleasure which comes from the sense objects. That is no pleasure at all, and that is doesn't serve our purpose. Rather, that is harmful. That will be actually straying us from the path if you are going for the sense pleasure. This also we must remember this. And this bliss which is there, that is inside us. Because bliss is the real nature of the self. And this self is inside us. So, the bliss that we are thinking of, which will be available outside, from somewhere you can get it, that bliss outside, it is not there outside, it is within. Bliss is within ourselves, we have to find out there itself. It is in the Atman or the self. And this comes when our mind is concentrated. When mind is focused, then we have this. Mind is able to go towards that. And when the senses are withdrawn and they are controlled, and the mind is also one-pointed, totally focused. It is concentrated and it is also one-pointed. And when there is destruction of all these desires, we have to destroy all these desires. We may say that if we destroy our desires, how will we live? It is not necessary to have these desires in order to live. For living in the world, whatever is required for our purpose, that will not come under desire. That is only a necessity for life. Beyond that, one should not go. So, vasanakshaya, they say, or when, and we also said that akamahataha, a person who will not be affected by desires, whose desires would be totally destroyed. He will be free from desire, then it will come. And then our mind also should not be very active, it should not have its own way. So it has to be, it will come only when our mind is also destroyed. That means the lower mind, which pulls us or drags us toward this world, that mind has to be controlled and then kept under, you see this, our use properly. We should not be under the control of the mind. Mind should be under our control. Like that we should say. When there is mononasa or destruction of the mind, then this bliss will be experienced. We can get that bliss. And then this also, mind will be totally desireless. Mind also will not have any thought. That means thought of all worldly things, thoughts of the world. And those things have to be, will not be there at all. It will come only from contentment. We must be contented with anything that we get in there. Contentment must be there. Contentment is the basic requirement for particular, because contentment is the opposite of desires. If desires are not there, we will have contentment. And this will come only through meditation. When you do meditation, we also discussed just now in the previous session that you see a person experiences that bliss during meditation. We said sukham atyantikam, like that we said means the intense, endless happiness, that infinite bliss, it will come through meditation. A yogi will reach that. Anybody also will reach, whosoever is able to practice it. So through meditation only this will be experienced. Meditation on God, meditation on the self. Anything, whatever is your way of meditation, that is necessary. And this will come only through dispassion, vairagya. Vairagya, dispassion for all things of the world, all sense objects, all sense pleasures, that is required. And through renunciation, giving up all things which are not necessary for us, rather which are troublesome, and which will fatten our ego and fatten our mind also. So those things have to be returned. So renunciation is necessary. Vairagya and also tyaga. These are all necessary. And to have that particular... You want to say something? Eh? Sadhana Chatushta. Yes, yes. Sadhana Chatushta, you want, we should speak about Sadhana Chatushta? No, you said that this is what it means. Sadhana Chatushta is required. Yes, very correct. Dispassion, Vairagya, Viveka and all that Sadhana Chatushta is necessary. Out of that we had taken out only the important things. That you see this dispassion and then the renunciation. These two are required. And then we also, our mind must be calm. If there is equanimity of our mind, then we can only reach this state. Because this our mind is always restless. It is affected by the pairs of opposites, heat and cold, pleasure and pain. Then you see this honor, dishonor, all the things actually trouble the mind. Our mind has to be calm. So for that we have to develop they have this, you see, equanimity of mind. Under all circumstances, evenness of mind, keeping mind under balance, balanced in cold and pleasure in pairs of opposites, and keeping the mind always under calm. And then you see, having equanimity of mind, that is necessary. Equilibrium of the mind, that is necessary if you want to reach that particular stage. These are all preliminary sadhana, preliminary practice, which is necessary to reach that highest stage. And we have also to have the state of moderation. Mind must have moderation, never going to any extremes, not having any too much of anything, but always keeping to the golden medium, meeting, you see, the middle path, following the middle path. Then our mind will become calm. Mind will not be disturbed by all the things of the world, all these things which come to us. It will not be disturbed, it will remain calm and cool under all circumstances. Then our mind will be in a position to do meditation or do this type of reflection, inquiry, etc. And this spiritual bliss that we are talking, it is the highest spiritual bliss, highest happiness, and it is the highest bliss. And we also said that it is inside our own soul. It is within us. This happiness we can't see from outside. You can't get from outside. And Swami Shivanand Maharaj also says, God is there inside your heart. If you don't find Him there, you cannot find Him anywhere else. That is what he says. So this is what we must understand. This bliss, we said, God and bliss are interchangeable. They are the synonyms. So bliss is also there inside us. We can't see or get from outside. This also we must understand. And so look within. It is experienced in deep sleep. That we have discussed. We have about deep sleep, what is there. And every day we have that experience. That is the type of sleep when there is no play of mind, no play of senses, intellect is not there, and objects are not there, then only we can have that bliss. It is independent of objects, and it is self-existent, that bliss. And bliss is our own nature. Not only bliss is in us, we should also know that that is our real nature. That is what you see, because our real nature is the self. And that bliss is also our real nature. And so it is not something different from us, that we ourselves are that particular bliss. So this bliss is because in the Gita Lord Krishna says that a part of me only has become this individual souls in the world. Mamaivanso jivo loke jivo bhuta sanatana. So being a part of God, nature of God is also there inside us. Our real nature is God alone. Real nature is bliss alone. So that is our own real nature. And this bliss or happiness it is continuous, uniform and eternal. That bliss is always there, and that is also our nature. This we must understand and reflect over it. And this will come through the purification of the mind. Because at the moment our mind is very pure, very impure. It is impure means, you see, because it is thinking of sense objects only. It has lots of desires. It is swayed by all these desires and sense objects and sense pleasures. This is all because of impurity. We have got this, you see, lust, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, all those things which are there, they are now in our mind, they are all impurities. They only disturb our mind. So mind is not able to grasp all these important things, the higher values of life. So we have to bring out a purity of our mind. For purification of mind is necessary, that is the basic requirement. All other things will come automatically. So this can become done, you see, through japa, through satsanga or the association with devotees and saints, then charity, self-restraint, selfless service, service to others, and then the study of the scriptures, practice of yama, niyama and all those things which are there, the disciplines in the 8-limbed yoga, Ashtanga yoga, etc. And then practicing pranayama also. When we practice pranayama, it will bring about purification of the mind. Mind also will become steady through, and there will be concentration. It will be able to do meditation if a little pranayama is also practiced. Then control of mind. These are the things, you see, which are required through this process. These are the essential processes, but these are the earlier stage. And gradually one will go towards reflection or inquiry or thinking of this contemplation of this bliss and Atma or God or this, the Brahman, Absolute. All those things will come later. These are essential requirements. So ultimately we will be able to get bliss, experience bliss only through realization of God. God realization is because God and the bliss are synonymous. God is bliss. If we want to have this bliss, we have to have God realization. And for this lasting happiness and the perennial joy, it is only in God. And this will be done, essential sadhana is through meditation and then the japa, repetition of God's name or mantra which we have got, that one, and also this meditation. These through that we can have God realization. And when we have God realization, then only the sorrow will come to an end. Sorrow which is there, you see, staring at us as a tiger. Maybe afterwards we will know that it is a paper tiger. This paper tiger, mind will not create any problem, sorrow also will not be able to do any trouble for us. We will be free from sorrow. At that time only, when we said that, we started saying that, you see, for us sorrow alone exists. Here is the question of bliss, opposite to our theme. But now we will be able to reach that stage. This sorrow will go only if we have God realization. In the Upanishad it is also said, any person who thinks that, you see, this he can reach the state of be free from sorrow without realizing God. It is like, you see, this, you can put the sky, you see, to wrap around you. Is that possible? Can we do sky? Just as we are having a shawl or you see other things, we are, you see, this covering ourselves with this. Can we cover ourselves with the sky? And then we be free from cold, heat and everything. So sky will give us all that. So since that is not possible, to sky we cannot utilize for the purpose of our wrapping ourselves around about us, to have our cover, etc. Similarly, without God realization, there will be no end to sorrow. That is what is there in the Upanishads. This is the teaching we must understand. So, God realization is essential if we want to have this bliss. So our task should be now do everything possible in order to have God realization. That is why Swami Shivananda Maharaj said, goal of life is God realization. Because we all want this bliss. We want to reach that liberation. That will be possible when there is God realization. So, knowing all this, we must now try to see what we are supposed to do and work on. You see all these steps that have to be gone through by us, and then proceed in the spiritual life. Then we will have not only this realization, not only the firm conviction that when bliss alone exists, how can there be sorrow? We will have the experience that bliss alone exists. Bliss is mine, and I am established in that particular bliss when we have God realization, when we have those things, and they undergone all these disciplines. Then we will be able to experience that bliss, and bliss will become a part of our life, and our life and bliss will go together. And we will have nothing else, nothing other than bliss in our life. This is what we can do. So thank you very much, and may God and Gurudev bless us that we will have this particular type of bliss, and make this concept or the theme that when bliss alone exists, how can there be sorrow? We should be able to prove it, that it is correct, and it is for me. And this is also my sadhana or spiritual practice. Our goal is to reach that particular state of bliss. Bliss we should have it settled like this. So this is what is there for our purpose. May God and Gurudev bless all of us. Now we will go to some of these questions which had come. Shall we?
Yes.
So thank you very much. Now there is one question which has come here. Swamiji, how can practitioners of yoga improve their ability to concentrate and pay attention within the practical context of daily yoga practice in relation to undertaking all daily family, work and social duties? Now this is the question. The other question also, part of it is, what are barriers that hinder our ability on a daily basis to concentrate and pay attention, so not being able to meet the time and quality requirements of given assignments? Now this which is there, etc., how to improve our ability to concentrate and pay attention. This is the question. Now this we have indirectly we have discussed about for this. The important thing is for developing our concentration, we should actually practice all the 8-limbed yoga, Ashtanga yoga which is there, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, then dharana, dhyana and samadhi. These are the 8 steps of this, the 8 limbs of that yoga. So these things have to be practiced. All these things which have been told there, they are to practice only to develop our concentration. By practicing these things, we will reach the state of dharana or the concentration. We will have good concentration if we pay attention to all these things. That means yama, all these certain principles which are the self-restraint. Then you say this niyama, certain observances, certain practices which we have to do daily. And then asana, yoga asanas. And then pranayama. And then pratyahara, withdrawing the senses from the world. And then dharana, dhyana and samadhi like that. So these things will have to be practiced by us. If we know what are these things and we try to practice in our day-to-day life, then automatically our mind will become calm and we will be able to concentrate, we will be able to focus. We can pay attention to all our the requirements in life. They have a practical value. They have practical utility also for us, like that. So one should practice those things. And then we must also try to give up attachment to all things of the world. Because it is this attachment only which makes our mind restless. It actually forces our mind to go towards the sense objects. So this attachment mentally, all mental attachment should be tried to be given up. That is necessary. And whatever duties we are doing, whatever work we are supposed to do, whether with the family or the social duties or other things, we must be sincere in our duty. Try to do whatever is possible. Do it sincerely. So sincerity is necessary. And then along with that, we can also have the habit of remembering God, contemplation of God. Remembrance of God also will help us to make our mind calm, and also, you see, it will develop our concentration. It will not be distracted by the things of the world, objects of the world. And we can also pray to God. And then important is do a little practice of meditation regularly. We must regularly practice meditation, both morning and evening, to the extent possible, to the extent you have got the time. We should try to practice that. If we do that, then you see our mind will become calm. It will be focused. We will be able to concentrate on the job or on the things which are required by us. These are the important things we can do. And the next part of the question is, what are the barriers that hinder our ability on a daily basis to concentrate? And then pay attention to that. So, and not being able to meet the time and quality requirements of given assignments. And here the barriers or the obstacles which come, which create problem for us, that is one thing is this, you see, this attachment. We have just mentioned about it. We must make the mind free from attachment to anything in the world. Attachment should not be there at all. We should try to make the mind free from all this. And then we should also have this, not have any distraction. All the sense objects, things of the world, they distract our mind. We should try to be free from distraction, this type of distractions, sense attraction as much as. So sense attraction also we must try to minimize or avoid. And because of that, we are not able to focus our attention on this because of the distraction. So we should also, that is not focusing, not being able to focus on the task on our hand, that is also a barrier. So these are the barriers which we say, they stand on our way for making the mind concentrated and also to be able to do our work, whatever it is from in the context of that work in our day-to-day life, which is there. So these are the barriers which we must keep in mind and try to give up as much as possible, eliminate from our life, and mind should be made to be free from all these barriers. Then we will be able to concentrate. The idea is one should be happy with whatever it is available, and not also have any worry, and make it as much calm as possible and peaceful. Then we will be able to concentrate, etc. Thank you very much. There is another second question. Revered Swamiji Maharaj, when there is lust, anger, greed, delusion, pride or envy, the mind becomes restless and there is a lot of imagination which is not pure. There is anxiety and fear and the practice becomes difficult. How to get out of those states? How to get out of those states? What should we do in those moments so that we are able to live happily and peacefully? This is the question, etc. And this is actually the problem of everybody, each one of us. This is what we must understand. So in order to handle these things, to be free from all these things, we should try to say that consciously we must try to avoid these things which are troublesome. This lust, anger, greed, delusion, pride, envy, and which make the mind restless. We must understand that these are my problems. And what is the nature of these things? What do we mean by this? Lust, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, whatever is there, etc. What is the meaning of each of these terms? These are all negative qualities. These are the vices. And for that we must try to understand what each one means, what exactly it is, and how it is actually troubling me. Then Consciously focus our attention, try to be free from this. Suppose you say that lust or anger is there. If anger is there, we will decide not to have any anger. I must not come under the control of anger. I must try to keep my anger under control. These are the things when we know this about. So similarly, each one of these negative qualities that have been mentioned here, we must understand what is the nature of that. How does it operate? Is it affecting me? So like this, and then try to avoid those things as much as possible. That is one positive aspect. As positive, you see this step that we have to take. Consciously avoiding these things and giving them up as much as possible. Otherwise, if we go on, you see, this fanning them and nourishing them, at the same time wishing that I should be free from it, how it will be possible? It is just the opposite of that. So, minimize those things, avoid those things as much as possible. The second thing is, of all these qualities which are there, it is better to think of the opposite quality. Now, this is called this opposite of each one of these. Supposing you say that lust. For lust, you see, it is impurity. It is impure desire. So, if that impurity, we must try to have purity. The antidote to lust is having purity, pure thoughts only, not having any negative, impure thoughts, etc. It is like that. For each thing, it is like this. And anger comes, you see, when we are unhappy with somebody, he has done something wrong, etc. That is why we try to chastise him, try to say, so anger comes to us. So the posting, instead of giving an outlet to our anger, better to control it. Stop it. Don't act on anger. If the impulse of anger comes, we should not act on it. And thus the opposite of the anger also is to forgive. He has made some mistake. Let it be. What is that? How does it help us? Why should I be so much affected by it? This type of reasoning should be there. So, practicing the opposite of each of these. Opposite of anger is this forgiveness. Forgive the person concerned and forget about it. And opposite of anger is also love. You must try to have affection and love for the person who has done some mistake. If we have love, opposite of anger, then you see anger will automatically come down. Instead of getting angry with the person concerned, if you have love, anger will have no place at all there. Anger will not come to us like that. This is the opposite. And similarly, greed. Greed also, you see, having so much of, when we have so much of trying to, amass so many things. It may be greed for money, it may be greed for, anything that is there, which we like, so you want to have more and more of it. So, greed operates in that way. The idea is that we must have the opposite of that. Opposite of greed is contentment. We must be contented with whatever we have got. Not crave for so many things outside. I want this. Because it is the nature of these objects that if you want to have some object, they will go on multiply. They will have more and more, demand more and more of it. So being contented, whatever I have got, it is quite all right. Why should I have so many things, etc.? So contentment is the opposite of greed. So like this, everything, delusion also. Delusion means we must have proper understanding, correct understanding, having discrimination also. Then delusion will not be there. Pride, envy, etc. Opposite of pride also is to feel humility, have humility. We must feel that pride. A person who has this pride, he thinks that I am a great person. I have done so much of it. This is the expressions of pride. It should be that a person, I am a very small person, what is that? So practicing humility, which will be an antidote to pride. Like that we must understand. So this is how it is there. So if we try to, envy also is like this. And so each of this you try to understand what is its nature and then how it operates, and just try to find out the opposite of it. Try to control it as much as possible, keep it to the minimum, or totally avoid it, that is the best. and then opposite quality also we try to learn. Then we will be able to get out of these states. So at that time, we should also try to remember God. We should also do repetition of God's name or mantra, japa. And we should also, study the spiritual books. Studying spiritual books also will make our mind calm, our knowledge will increase, understanding will be better. And studying the lives of saints and good devotees also, that is also very helpful. So these are the different steps we can take in order to have this, be free from these, the opposite, the troublesome, these, the negative qualities which are there, we will be able to control them. We will be able to live happily and peacefully. And there is a third question. Shall we do it now? There is 2-3 minutes are there. There is another third question about faith. I think you have to go.
Yes, because we can do it on the 29th also.
Is that okay? The third question which is there, we will take up on the next day, because you should not be late for your lunch. You have to go there in time. So very good, we have covered 2 questions. And the other thing, third question, we will take up later, so that we can do good justice to it, instead of doing it in a hurry.
Yes.
So we will do that. So it is very good. Thank you very much. Many thanks to everybody. Thanks for patient listening. And thanks to our Mataji also. It is very nice. It was a very good the occasion for us, and we were able to discuss a little about all these things. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you again, Swamiji. It was wonderful. And Swamiji does give very thorough answers to questions. He likes to think about them ahead of time. So his question and answer period will be on the 29th. So please, if you have questions, put them in writing. Try and have them in the box here by the 27th. So Swamiji has a couple of days to take a look. I mean, he'll also take a look. And you know, online people are sending them too, so make sure you get them in, or the online go first.
So thank you very much. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Sachidananda Bhagavan ki Jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. Ramchandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Vishwanath Bhagavan ki Jai. Ganga Maya ki Jai. Jisu Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. Sab Santana ki Jai. Sab Bhakton ki Jai. सब स्पिरिचुअल रिट्रीट पार्टिसिपेंट्स की जय. नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव. धन्यवाद. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Swamiji.
We wish you all the best. Have a nice